Hi guys, yes, welcome back to flatcapeurotalk here for the long-awaited Pedro Porro scout report. Definitely a few people have suggested this to me, especially one special person, the Romero Golden Sea, has requested this on numerous occasions. It's finally come, it's finally here. Here we are. Born in Don Benito, Spain, kind of in between Seville and Madrid, so a bit central, kind of south central, you could say, kind of Spain. Looks very hot, and also from a very small town as well. 22 years of age, born in 1999, 5 feet 9 inches, 1.76 meters tall. You could say he's not too short, not too tall either, with that sort of kind of metric. Right wing back, plays as a right mid as well. Definitely more of a winger type by the looks of it. He is actually a Man City player, and he's on loan to Sporting, which that loan started in 2020 and it is ending. It looks like the end of this season, and his contract is up in 2024 over at his parent club, Man City, valued at around 22.5 million pounds. You could say that maybe Man City would part ways with the guy if they don't really see a future with this player as right wing back, and maybe he wants to play football regularly. It's tough to say though. Would they sell to another Premier League club? Really hard to imagine. Let me know, Romero, Golden Sea, though. Whether you think Man City would sell to another Premier League club, especially Spurs Youth Club, Rayo Vallecano, and Girona. But definitely a huge future ahead of this guy for sure. Let's look into the stats from this season. This is comparing him to all other fullbacks in Europe's top five leagues in the last 365 days. And we're also really only using his Champions League fixtures, which he's only played 7 matches. And I believe it was a total of 570 minutes of some kind, maybe just a bit tad under that. And with that 570 minutes, you're not really going to get the most consistent numbers, and sometimes you really have to take then these numbers with a pinch of salt because it's not really a fair reflection of him. And I think it cuts both ways. Some of his really astounding numbers perhaps are just significantly inflated, whereas some of the areas that you look on FBref where his numbers aren't so great, you would then probably say, well, maybe if he was given more of a chance with a different team and also just played different games in the Champions League and more minutes, maybe those numbers would round out to look a bit better. So it's really tough to get a gauge of the stats here. So we're really going to have to rely on the flat cap army here to let me know a lot more about this guy and whether you think he'd be good enough for Spurs as that right wing back. Primera Liga, he's played 21 matches, 3 goals and 3 assists so far. Last season, he had 3 goals and 2 assists, so he's already surpassed that tally. He has so far in just the Champions League, he was averaging 4 progressive passes per 90. He was actually in the top percentile of anybody with through balls per 90 from that fullback position, which is very impressive. Dribbles attempted, 3.09, but his dribbles kind of success is not so great in the Champions League. His progressive carries are fine with 6.36, especially for a side like Sporting. I actually think that's pretty impressive, to be fair. Carries into the penalty area, really good to see that being 1 per 90. I think that's impressive as well. They were in kind of a weird group, Sporting. I think it was Ajax, Dortmund, and Besiktas as well. And so you could say that maybe that sort of group was maybe suited for them to maybe get good stats. But at the same time, like I said, a lot of tough opponents in the Champions League for sure. And I would say that someone like Pedro Porro, it looks to be one of their kind of their leaders in terms of the creative areas of how they like to go forward. Fouls drawn 2.06 in the sixth percentile there. So definitely, or in the top six percentile there. So that's really good to see as well. So, I mean, any of these, they're all highlighted green. It really shows that he has some good areas when it comes to going forward, carrying the ball by the looks of it. Seems to be a good dribbler, seems to know how to get by his man, seems to be able to play a decent pass as well, by the looks of it. The fact that he's played so many through balls, but we will take a look at the highlights. Do let me know if maybe some stats I'm missing here. And also, like, if these stats are like really a fair reflection of how good this guy even is. But let's go into the highlights here, everybody. Yeah, there's that through ball right there that we're talking about. Good turning radius. Still coming inside and almost goes for the banger there. Lovely to see. Yeah, he definitely backs himself, it looks like, in terms of the dribbling department. Knows oh, very, very, very tricky there. Definitely backs himself, you can tell in those areas. Good defending. See you later. Ooh, lovely, lovely little stepovers as well. Bit of a banger from a free kick as well. It looks like he took a few penalties for this team, which I find interesting. Maybe he's a much better striker of the ball than maybe I know. Wow, especially with that one as well. Especially with that one, that's almost worldy by the looks. Wow, he's almost knuckled it in too. He is a really good striker of the ball. What an what a beast! Good ball in. Oh, it's almost he even touched that. I don't even know if he touched that. Great ball. Oh, he's rocking the short socks here as well. Dirty. Yeah, he definitely has a good finish on him. Clearly, would he's banging some of these in. These must be from season past because he hasn't even scored that many goals by the looks of it this season. This is actually ridiculous. Some of these ones that he's banging. Looks like he played that player, and I'm not sure if that was Pedro Porro there. Great ball again. Oh, that was Goncalves. Went off the bar. Oh, that is the type of ball that we're missing right now. That is the type of ball that we're missing. Just someone who can just take on their man like that and then just whip an absolute curler into the box. It just feels like Emerson, he goes for that same sort of move. Maybe occasionally will draw a bit of space, but he can't even lift it off the ground to be able to get it to a player in the middle of the box like that. That's exactly what we're looking for. And Pedro Porro looks like he's capable of it. But another thing that maybe needs to be said is the fact that while we're maybe looking at Premier League, he's just absolutely slicing and dicing that man right there. Jeez. But a lot of an interesting factoid is that, recently a lot of really good players, that have done well in the Premier League that have come from different leagues have been Premier League players, have been Portuguese league players. And so you have to kind of, maybe not write off the fact that he's playing in to some would say a lesser league than most leagues in Europe, but they've adapted quite well, and they're really good examples of a lot of players that have adapted quite well. And in fact, some of the best players in the Premier League have all come from the Premier League at one stage or another. And it does have one of the best kind of scouting departments with all its kind of big clubs there. So Pedro Porro certainly learning a lot over there and certainly, becoming his own, kind of player, learning a lot about himself. Yeah, he definitely backs himself. Takes free kicks for them by the looks of it. And he's taking penalties. Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw that in the stats as well. It's a good penalty. Just shows he's a good striker of the ball, which gives us a lot of confidence. I mean, I could never even dare consider watching Emerson from a penalty spot. Pretty shocking keeping, by the way. But good finish. Wow, that was a fantastic ball. He really does. He does seem exactly what we're looking for in terms of actually being that incredibly creative wingback. Well, we maybe want probably more defensive highlights maybe from the guy. And honestly, his defensive numbers weren't fantastic. There's a good tackle though, but once I say it, he seems to definitely be more of the creative type for sure. I really do like his ability, just like right there, to be able to cut inside with the same move every time and be able to either play an absolute dime in the box, even go for a through ball. Seems to also like to go for screamers. The way he also even can cut inside on both sides makes you think that maybe he could play as a left wing back as well. Could do sort of Matt Doherty's job. Um, Maybe he's available this summer. Maybe he is available this summer because by the looks of it, Pedro Porro for me, he seems all the hype is kind of worth it for me. I mean, by the looks of it, I would say 22.5 million pounds is the evaluation. Then for me, with 22.5 million pounds as the evaluation, I would say Man City could probably be willing to sell 30 million. I think they would take 30 million pounds even from a Premier League club. At the end of the day, they're only making maximum profit from it, and they probably wouldn't really see it as a huge loss for them. They have the likes of Joao Cancelo for a few more years. Of course, they're probably trying to replace Kyle Walker, but are they going to replace him with a really attacking wingback? I really doubt. I think they'll try to go for something else, something a bit more polished. Pedro Porro certainly could be someone that Spurs take a look at. I'm really impressed by the dribbling more than anything and the creative side of things. Not so sure about the defending side, but again, this is kind of someone I really don't know very much about, don't really watch very much of. So it's really up to you guys in the comments to really let me know whether you guys think this would be a prime candidate for Spurs to look at this summer or even just in future, years as well. And even just let me know just about the player in general, because really I'm cutting at this from a very kind of beginners, kind of perspective on Pedro Porro. Pretty much know nothing about him, and it's up to you guys, the Flat Cap Army, to educate me. But everybody, as always, do hit that like button on your way out, and I will be seeing you.